How you doing, people? Hope you're well. Training hard. What is he banging on about today? Well, today, folks, is Plyometric Day. Well, it often is Plyometric Day, but today is a special one. I'm going to have a go at a tough exercise, Plyometric Navy Seals. Basically involves a starting jump from a kneeling position. I've sort of called it a get up and go, but you jump from your knees straight onto your feet. You go straight into a Navy SEAL, straight into a tuck jump. That all makes up one, and you've got to do 100 of them, basically as quick as you can. I saw Tony at Still in the Game doing them. I don't think it was a flat out effort, but he always goes at a hard pace. The only other person I've seen do them up to now is Mr. Paradox Yeti Regime, who actually attempted them 2 days after being ill. So shout out to those two guys. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, so I had no excuse to not have a go at these, seeing as I'm always advocating the benefits of plyometrics and have been enjoying the Navy SEALs as well. I did have a little mini test run just to practice that initial get up and go movement. Well, to see if I could do it firstly and that I didn't fall flat on my face. One thing I noticed when I watched them though was that it didn't look like I was jumping that high, so I thought that's a bit rubbish. And then I realised that the camera angle was too high on the tripod, so once I lowered it, it was better. I could have put the camera on the floor, but I couldn't angle it well enough, so it's still on the tripod. Not that it matters, of course, but anyone else filming an attempt may notice the same. Anyway, one thing I did do a little bit wrong, like a plonker, or at least I forgot to do it as it was demonstrated, was the landing. Tony and Paradox landed and went straight into a squat position and then stood up, which is a bit more controlled, whereas I sort of landed and then went straight to the kneeling position, getting ready really for the next rep. I suppose I'm still getting the main three elements of effort in, that initial jump, the seal and the tuck jump, but aesthetically it would have been better to do it as demonstrated really. So next time I'll focus on that. I might have a go at the basic 6 count version of these and then I can practice it. Not sure if I would try it with the weighted vest, but it may be worth a try. As those guys said though, this is a higher level of cardio, which makes complete sense because you're recruiting bigger muscles in the legs and therefore need more energy and oxygen. I did also feel the work I do with the lunge jumps and heel to backside burpees especially done for a minute, really condition you well for something like this. I do think the Navy SEALs alone leave room for further cardio improvement. That's why I think a fantastic session is a combination of the two, either something like this created by Tony or a session of the SEALs, or whatever type you prefer, followed by a session of the jumps, especially when they're for 1 minute each. The best way to measure it, of course, would be with a heart rate monitor. Well, I say the best way would be to be hooked up to an oxygen mask to measure oxygen consumption. That would be the gold standard. But any good chest strap heart rate monitor would guide you well as to which areas of the session are testing you the most. Just back on the subject of VO2 Max's interesting story, well, it was interesting to me. When I was doing my sports science degree, one of the guys on the course who I sat next to in a lot of the classes was a guy called Rob Denmark. Now, Rob was a British former middle and long distance runner. He won a gold medal in the 5,000 metres in the 1994 Commonwealth Games, silver medal in the 5,000 metres at the 1994 European Championships, and the bronze medal in the 3,000 metres at the 1991 World Indoor Championships. He also finished 7th in the 5,000 metres final at the 1992 Barcelona Olympics, so he wasn't bad. So in that he got to the final and was 7th. But at the time of the course I was doing, Rob was obviously big into his running, and he was a couple of years younger than me. I started the course late, but there was one day when we were testing VO2 max levels, so we picked just one person as a guinea pig who was going to go to run on a treadmill with the oxygen mask on. And because obviously Rob was the running specialist, he was the guinea pig. So just worth noting as well that VO2 max tests are ergometer specific. In other words, a top cyclist would not get an accurate VO2 max valuation if they were tested on a running machine, just as a top rower would need to be tested on a rowing machine, etc. Anyway, so the test progressed with Rob on the treadmill, and every couple of minutes the speed was notched up a little bit. So you'd run for 2 minutes, then it was notched up again, and when you get to a speed where the increase in speed is not resulting in an increase in oxygen uptake, then the runner has basically reached their limit, that they'll just sort of have to stop and put their feet either side of the running belt. So the running machine just kept getting faster and faster, and time ticked on. And obviously it had started at a slow pace, but eventually he did have to step off and the measurements were taken. Now, I can't actually remember the figure of the VO2 max, but as everyone was clearing up and putting the equipment away, I just sort of glanced at the running machine and I noticed that in the test he'd covered 9 miles. I mean, the test had been going for quite a while because it started slowly, and perhaps these days they would start it at a bit of a quicker pace, maybe make the increments of time to be 1 minute rather than 2 minutes. But it was testament to the speed that Rob was consistently running at that enabled him to cover 9 miles in the test. So no surprise that he was world class, basically. I mean, I think his 5k PB was 13 minutes 10 seconds. Mind you, I bet he was rubbish at Navy Seals, but hey, you can't have it all. So I suppose the moral of the story is get your strength work in, get your cardio in, and if you can do a session with both, like this one, that's great, and dedicated strength session on other days, and dedicated cardio sessions on different days. But strength people, don't neglect that cardio, and cardio people, don't neglect that strength. Anyway, there's a little bit more of me floundering about here. There's a timestamp in the description if you want to move to the last minute burn effort, I suppose. If you do have a go at this, have a little practice of that initial jump move first, just to get the timing right, and then basically just think like Spider-Man. Okay, see you in the next one, and thanks again to Tony for devising the session.
When they click through, try to send this about to be a show, be fun. Everybody know the drop when I'm in it. Drop the top when I'm in it. Everybody drop when I'm in it. Yeah, I go so good. Everybody know I'm on. You know when they click through, try to send this about to be a